All right, guys, I got this video request quite often, and I think it's a fantastic idea, so I'm definitely going to make a video about it. But first off, make sure, guys, I know I'm so annoying. I know I say this at the beginning of every video, but it's because I'm getting y'all multiple videos a day at this point, and really, it's so simple. Just make sure you leave a like because y'all know, I said it, I don't know how many times, YouTube does not want to recommend the videos if there are more than one a day. But if we keep on dropping the likes, because y'all have been killing it, every video is getting over 100 likes. Like, I cannot be more grateful, cannot be more appreciative of what y'all are doing. Please, let's keep it up. Y'all keep doing that. I'll keep getting y'all multiple videos a day. But we're going to jump into it. We're going to talk about how to rebuild and really get into why you should rebuild, players you should be targeting in a rebuild, and players that you should be selling. First off, I'm going to go through the strategy. I'm going to get into kind of just basic principles of what you should be doing during the rebuild. And then later on in the video, then I'll get into the exact players that I think right now are great targets, where you should be rebuilding, and really players that you should not have on your roster if you are looking to rebuild. All right, let me give a quick shout out to Joseph. Y'all know plays in a ton of leagues with me. Love playing with him. Fantastic Dynasty player. He's been a part of the Patreon for a very long time now. Love the man. And in all our leagues, he really went productive struggle. I think he went productive struggle, which is a rebuild right off the beginning of the startup, besides one. And now looking at all his teams across the leagues, he did everything correctly. He absolutely killed it. Pretty much every league that I am in with him, I would much rather have his team over any other team in the entire league. So if you're going to do a rebuild and you're going to do it right, you can easily create a monster when it comes to value and when it comes to trade assets on your team. But that's going to lead us into the first point, what you should be doing on a rebuilding roster, and you should be going for all value. That's all you care about at this point. You're not going to really be looking for what is going to score you points the following year. I know it's kind of obvious, but if you do everything correctly, you should get the rookie pick 101 in your rebuilding year. And this is exactly, it goes into my next point. So we're going to go for all value, and whenever we're looking for value, we're looking at, you're looking at it as if you're a day trader in the stock market. I know it sounds very silly, but you have to know when these players are going to be at their peaks and when they're going to be a declining asset. And you want to get players that are increasing in value where you're going to be able to sell later on at a premium. So players like this, just for example, just a quick example. I know a lot of people, you say, if I put out a Twitter poll right now and said, hey, I'm a rebuilding team. Do I want Jerry Jeudy or Calvin Ridley? Every single person's going to go, oh, you're rebuilding. You don't need points in 2020. Give me Jerry Jeudy. You don't want Calvin Ridley. And I'm here saying, no, that's the exact opposite thing you want to do right now. With the way the market works right now, these rookies, especially the rookie wide receivers, are going to hold the value. Whereas if we fast forward to the end of the summer where people are getting ready to start putting in lineups, they're going to begin getting ready to really make their roster a competitive team. They don't want Jerry Jeudy, just because if this is when all the major websites are putting out their projections for 2020, they go, hey, this player is probably going to get this many targets this year. He's going to get this many PPR points. And people are going to see, oh, Calvin Ridley's only 25. He's going to be projected to be the wide receiver 13. Jerry Jeudy's a rookie. He's going to be projected to be the wide receiver 70. That value is going to be completely flipped. You may be able to trade Calvin Ridley for Jerry Jeudy and a second round pick in 2021. And I understand, me saying this right now, it does not sound right. You're thinking, oh, Mason, no, you can't do that. You're just off here. But I'm telling you, I play in more Dynasty leagues than whoever is watching this video. I have my buy-ins for my Dynasty leagues are significantly higher than whoever's watching this video. I know the value that's out there. And I can tell you confidently that you're not going to want to go in and just get the youngest players right away. That's going to be your first mistake, and that's going to be the most common mistake people make with a rebuilding roster. Eventually, yes, you do want that youth. You do want players that aren't going to score points in 2020, but are going to score points down the line. And this is exactly why you have to accumulate this youth at value at the right time. And now, right I don't know when you're watching this video because this video is going to be relevant throughout the rest of the offseason. But I'm making it right before the NFL draft. And this is the time where you don't want to be selling Derrick Henry. I know I've been getting a ton of Derrick Henry trade questions. And every single time I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't trade Derrick Henry for this price. I think I would hold, even though I truly believe Derrick Henry's a sell just because his long-term value isn't going to be there. But if you just think about it logically, right now, if you're selling a player like Derrick Henry, like Ezekiel Elliott, you're selling them at the lowest. They're not the lowest they'll ever be, because they're definitely going to be a lot lower in value a year from now. But throughout this offseason, their value is never going to be lower, because right now, this isn't the time that people need to be setting their lineups. This is the time that people are going, oh, what is my Dynasty team going to look like in 3 years? Just because we don't have NFL games going on right now, you're not having a matchup. So right now is not the time to be going out and buying all this youth. You want to be accumulating assets that you believe you're going to be able to sell about 3 months from now at a premium. And now this is not me saying go out and buy Larry Fitzgerald, because there's a big difference between like a Julio Jones and a Julian Edelman. Yes, Julian Edelman may be productive in 2020, but it doesn't matter. You just have to understand the player that you're buying and just ask yourself, is someone going to be willing to buy this player for more 3 months from now? And now Julian Edelman may be easy to say that can happen, but at the same time, a veteran that is that low in value, his value is not necessarily going to go up that much. I know it's weird to say, but just the way Dynasty players work, I would be much more confident in holding a Julio Jones until the NFL season and then sell him in week 3 of the preseason than I would be a Julian Edelman. So now let's get into specifics of, at that time, it's week 3 of the preseason. You've committed that you're going to have a rebuilding roster. What should you do? I'm going to say the first thing you should do is you need to ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Because if you are going to do it, you can't do it halfway. You have to fully commit to the rebuilds, and there are going to be some strict outlines that I'm going to say that this is how it's going to be successful. First off, when it comes to the running back position, if it's week 3 of the preseason, the only running backs I want on my roster are rookie running backs. If you are a Josh Jacobs, a Miles Sanders, you are already I already don't want you. I'm already trading you away for either 2021 rookie picks or current rookie running backs. And this is mainly just because the valuation of of these young running backs, they have about a 2-year ramp up to their peak value, and then they fall off sharply. We see time and time again, we see David Johnson, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell. These running backs have a sharp fall off, even though people go, oh, it's Le'Veon Bell, the most talented running back in the league. He's a great pass catcher. He's going to have fantasy value for the next 5 years. That's not how it works. So week 3, especially because you don't want points on your team, we are trying to get the rookie 101 pick in 2021, especially that way we can take Trevor Lawrence in our Superflex leagues. That is what we want. So we're going to trade away every single running back that's not a rookie running back on our roster, except if they are a sophomore running back and present great value due to their situation. And now this is going to be the next point I make. Players that I want to target that are kind of sneaky are players that we believe are extremely talented, but are in very poor situations. Now, this would lead you to getting players like an A.J. Brown last offseason, where if you're week 3 and you're rebuilding, a competitive team that has A.J. Brown on their roster goes, he's a great talent, but he's in Tennessee. He's not going to be able to produce anything for me year 1. I don't necessarily want him. I'll try to cash out for the Eagles are really lacking wide receiver weapons. Maybe I'll cash out for a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And situations change very fast, and because you don't need the points right away, this is what you're going to be targeting. And now I laid out 3 perfect guys that fit this exact narrative. First off, at the tight end position, we have Dallas Goddard, who I've never owned before just because, one, I haven't had a rebuilding team in a while. Most of my team, pretty much every team I've had has been a competitive team for the past 2 or 3 years. But anyway, Dallas Goddard, now is the time to buy in Dallas Goddard. People that were buying Dallas Goddard in the case of a Zach Ertz departure a couple of years ago, I was telling them that they were idiots. I thought Dallas Goddard was the most overrated player in Dynasty. But now that Zach Ertz is actually getting closer to leaving, or Dallas Goddard can actually leave, his value has stayed the same. Now, at this point, I believe that if you're a rebuilding team, Dallas Goddard is a decent buy for you. Same thing with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is actually deceivingly a lot younger than most people think. I know I just said don't go out and buy running backs on a rookie contract, but if you look at the Kareem Hunt profile, Kareem Hunt could be out of Cleveland next year. And if he signs anywhere, we could see a Jerick McKinnon-like hype train. If y'all remember when Jerick McKinnon signed with the 49ers, it never ended up to be anything, but I swear to God, Jerick McKinnon was going in the 3rd round of Dynasty startup drafts. I know a lot of y'all probably don't believe that. A lot of y'all probably don't remember that, but it happened. And I think we can see a similar thing with Kareem Hunt a year from now, and especially if you're holding him on your roster and something happens to Nick Chubb halfway down the season, you could go out and sell Kareem Hunt at an RB1 price. Now, lastly, is a player that had a lot of hype until a couple weeks ago whenever Robbie Anderson signed, and this is Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel is still extremely young, but he's currently just in a super crowded situation. I would also kind of throw in the same wide receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs, Mecole Hardman. I think both of these wide receivers had a lot of hype a couple weeks ago, but with Robbie Anderson, Samuel Watkins, Demarcus Robinson all going back to their teams, I can see a small dip that maybe you'll be able to buy and profit a year from now. Now, let's get into the type of players that you should not be holding when it comes to week 3 of the NFL preseason. DeAndre Hopkins, Ezekiel Elliott, Devontae Adams. And not just only these 3 specific players, but you can kind of see the trend here. You can throw in Dalvin Cook into this mix. Just all these players I'm willing to sell, and I don't necessarily want them scoring points in my lineup, especially if I'm going for the 101 overall. And at the same time, their values will never be higher than they are now. Now, a couple players I'm going to be buying. First off, I don't want many studs on my team. What I want is I want a lot of rookies. I want a lot of future rookie assets. And I want players that I think could have an immediate upgrade in value. So one player that's near the top of startups that I actually would love on this team is Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that he just fits perfectly because if we do see him go out and put up production that we have seen with Ben Roethlisberger before, this is a player that his value, because of his age in Dynasty, will skyrocket into the 2021 season. And like I said, this is all about value. Next, we have Noah Fant and TJ Hawkinson, and you can throw Irv Smith into here. All of these sophomore tight ends that are at a decent price right now, but we can easily see them being worth a lot more a year from now if they produce. Love buying these players. Now, let's try to look at some depressed assets, some guys who were rookies last offseason, and their values are in the gutter right now. First off, in Superflex leagues, Dwayne Haskins, I think that if you're a rebuilding team, he actually makes a lot of sense. I know the quarterback market's kind of saturated at this point across the NFL, but if Dwayne Haskins comes in and produces and shows that he's a good talent, actually, we're going to see a very similar situation to what we saw with Jared Goff, where Jared Goff's value went from he was the 101 in the NFL draft, blah, 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 and his value went straight in the gutter. But as soon as he had that good season with Sean McVay, he came soaring back and was a quarterback 1. I think it's not likely, but it's possible with Dwayne Haskins we see a similar type situation. And at the value he's at right now, that'd be great. Now, I'm going to list off rapid fire a couple names. Jalen Hurd, Boykin, Paris Campbell, Damian Harris, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Bryce Love, Andy Isabella. All these guys did not perform their rookie season. All these guys are at a depressed value, and I could see if any of them perform year 2, their values will shoot up from where they are now. But thanks so much, guys. Really hope really hope you all enjoyed this video. Really hope it helped you all out. But if you have a rebuilding team and you've made any trades lately, make sure you go down, leave a comment, or if you even see a player that you would really like to target on a rebuilding team, make sure you drop that and we can get a discussion going. But thanks, guys.